Missouri native Michelle Lee joined Five on Your Side in 2021 with over 2 decades of broadcast experience, earning multiple awards for her work in journalism. She's accomplished in her advocacy work for adoptees and children in foster care and mentoring young journalists. But in January of 2022, Michelle became a household name for a different reason.
Hi, this evening your Asian anchor mentioned something about being Asian and Asian people eat dumplings on New Year's Day, and I don't think it was appropriate that she said that, and she was being very Asian. And
Very Asian. The term was used by a viewer who left a voicemail, as you see Michelle reacting to in this video, complaining about a comment Michelle made about the Korean tradition of eating dumplings for New Year's. And what was an offensive and hurtful comment has since created a worldwide movement.
Tonight, something that doesn't happen too often at KSDK. A social post about one of our newscast segments has gone viral.
Now, Michelle Lee's story inspired the hashtag Very Asian movement.
Very Asian.
Very Asian.
The hashtag Very Asian.
Very Asian.
It's the #1 trend, the #1 search on Yahoo.
Wow.
I admire you so much by the way you handled that. That was incredible. I heard about it. I wanted to meet you. So
Turning the viral moment into a longer-lasting impact, Michelle Lee founded the Very Asian Foundation. Through efforts like the May Book Project, which provides youth with Asian American literature, and the Very Asian Creators Grant Program, providing funds to young Asian American artists, the foundation aims to shine a light on Asian experiences through advocacy and celebration. Joining us now is Michelle Lee herself, KSDK's Today in St. Louis co-host and founder of the Very Asian Foundation. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you for having me.
So, you know, it's been a while since that video went viral. Are you kind of over it?
Oh my gosh, well, sometimes I'm like, am I gonna be the very Asian lady forever? Like, what does that mean for people? What does that mean for my life? But you know what, it's only been a year and a half. Sometimes it feels like 5 years. So it's been really incredible
You've done
to
a
think
lot
just
in
a
that
few
year
months.
now. Yeah. And you know, I think we hear about the harmful effects of social media, and I think we've all seen a viral video showcasing some harmful attitudes, behaviors. But you know, on the flip side, you've been able to create this whole online community, support. How do you balance the positive and the negatives?
Oh my gosh, well, I think anyone who works in television or in kind of a media space, you're already very aware of the good and the bad, right? I'm still like counting my blessings that I haven't been canceled yet, or that people haven't gotten super tired of me. Well, maybe they have, you know.
No.
But, I just keep trying to be authentic and honest and lay it all out in a way that I can, and also keep my job as a journalist and all those things, you know.
Right, yeah. And you know, the Midwest, you don't really think about large Asian community population. I'm sure there's a lot more out there than the average person is aware of, but how has that been working in the Midwest?
Well, I think, because I'm from the Midwest, I was always proud to be from the Midwest. And it was hard in some ways growing up, just in some ways, because there would be times when people thought I didn't belong here. And the thing that I think is really important, even when you mention, St. Louis having this, maybe potentially small Asian American population, I think about the Asians who came here, the Chinese immigrants who came here before the Civil War. People who, we had a Chinatown in St. Louis for 100 years.
Right.
And I always tell people, if people knew the history in their own backyard as shared history, it would change the whole narrative of how we perceive each other. If you could say, well, my people have been here since the beginning of, the end of the 1800s, people would go, oh my gosh, So I definitely feel like, there's just so much more that we can talk about in a way that is shared and community building.
Yeah, and when you say very Asian,
I know.
Asia's a pretty big continent.
Sure,
I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cultures and subcultures of the subcultures,
Yes.
And I think one of the things with immigration is losing that unique culture and heritage. What has the response been from the Asian community?
I think it's been really great in the sense that I am an adoptee. My parents do not look like me. My husband does not look like, I'm the only Asian person in my family, right? And so in a lot of ways, I kind of go against kind of the narratives that have been shared across the diaspora. So, you know, being an adoptee, being a Midwesterner doesn't really rise to the top of the Asian American experience, even though technically I'm an immigrant, you know, all these different things. But I think it's so important to just have those conversations because people all around the country have experiences like that. And I always say, instead of kind of shunning the Midwest for not being what you think it is, actually people in the Midwest have been building community for a long time. You don't get to live in a silo when you come to the Midwest. You have to get along with everybody, right? Whereas when I was living in other places, like say the West Coast, you could live in a silo. You know, you really could. But here in St. Louis, here in Missouri, you have to meet other people. You have to be out of your comfort zone. And I think that's what's beautiful. I think we have so much going for us. And a lot of times that just gets kind of underrepresented across the media, across the board.
Right, and so as we mentioned, the month of May was Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Tell us about what the Very Asian Foundation is doing.
I was going to say, well, it's our Heritage Month every month.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yes, always relevant.
Oh my goodness. Well, we were so honored to be invited to some really cool spaces. In May, we went to the White House for a White House Summit, and we were a part of the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Summit, which was pretty cool. We also were honored by the FBI for raising, I should say, it was more like responding to anti-Asian hate and discrimination. So it's been incredible to be invited to some of those spaces. I don't think that that's going to be long lasting, you know. I mean, maybe if the White House wants to invite us back next year. But it's just the idea of, I think that people are ready to have great conversations, to listen more, to build community, and to do things beyond what has already been done. I always say, you know, sometimes it feels like the coast kind of drown out what's going on across the country. And no offense to the coast, you know, I love both coasts, but you know, there's a whole 48 other states that have representation. And what is the representation like in St. Louis? It's different than, you know, Casper, Wyoming, or San Francisco, or New York, or Des Moines, Iowa. I mean, we all represent. We all are in all corners of the country. And so I think that that's why Very Asian resonated with people, because it's like, hey, wait, I'm here too. And it is a little ironic that a person with my face, but with my background, represents this conversation, because I don't think it's happened before.
That's right. I mean, yeah, it's, and like you mentioned, you know, it's not just, it shouldn't be just pegholed to 1 month. Right. It should be an ongoing conversation.
Yeah, 365 days a year for some of us.
Exactly. So, you know, and I really like the May Book Project, you know, and sharing literature with kids to see, like, I think you probably would have appreciated that as a kid, you know, seeing yourself represented.
Absolutely. When I was a kid, we had Connie Chung, Christy Yamaguchi, and then I'm sure someone else that I'm blanking out on. You know, really, I love this because as a journalist, these students from St. Louis said, hey, we tried to get some books into our schools last year and we're unsuccessful. Can you help us? And so I said, well, it seems like that's the easiest thing that we can do. And then I realized, wait, I'm way over my head. So we used scholars and educators and librarians, and all these people came together to create this entire project, which is an academic rubric, a toolkit, and a book list. And so we've had so much support, especially across Missouri. If a book doesn't work for a school district, hey, there are 249 other books to choose from. You know, so we've had a lot of great support, and I really appreciate that. It's the idea of mirrors and windows. People say that all the time in education and in literature. You want to be able to see yourself, but you also want to learn about the lives of others. And so it is critical for young readers to be able to have that opportunity. And so it's been really neat to see that come to fruition.
You've got a lot going on. You get up so early in the morning, you know, as a parent of a young kid myself, I get up and I'm like struggling to get out of bed, and then I turn on the TV and I'm like, oh, Michelle's been awake for hours already. So.
You can text me on air. I'll say, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, maybe that'll get me going a little bit more. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Michelle.